Morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 10 of your science book, that is respiration in organisms. All the living organisms are made up of small microscopic unit called the cell. These cells have different functions to perform such as digestion, respiration, transportation and excretion. And the cell can perform this function only if they get the energy to do so. Hence, all living organisms need food which gives them the required energy. The energy present in the food get released when the organism respire or breathe. So, what is respiration? We can say that respiration is the process in which food that we eat is broken down with the release of energy. And all the cells in living organism undergo cellular respiration. We can write the reaction as breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen with the release of carbon dioxide, water and energy. And this whole process is known as respiration. On the basis of presence or absence of oxygen, respiration can be classified into two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. When breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, glucose is completely broken down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. Aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria and it leads to release of high amount of energy. Aerobic respiration is seen in most of the organisms such as human, dogs, cats, elephants, cows, snake, earthworm, etc. And the end products are carbon dioxide, water and energy. While when breakdown of oxygen takes place without using oxygen, it is called anaerobic respiration. The glucose is not completely broken down into carbon dioxide and water. An intermediate compound is formed with the release of less amount of energy during this process. And these organisms that carry out respiration in the absence of oxygen are called anaerobes. During anaerobic respiration, smaller organisms like yeast can produce ethanol or alcohol as a byproduct which is used in making wine or beer. The carbon dioxide produced by yeast is used in the bread making industry. The carbon dioxide gas released during this process causes the bread dough to rise. So anaerobic respiration generally occurs in lower organisms like yeast and bacteria. And the end products are lactic acid, ethanol and energy. Usually aerobic respiration takes place in humans, but under certain conditions anaerobic respiration may also occur in our muscles for a short while due to temporary deficiency of oxygen. When we perform heavy exercise like running, cycling, walking, weightlifting, etc., we require a large amount of energy. To meet the energy requirement, our muscle cells perform anaerobically. And during this process, the glucose or food in the muscle cell is partially broken down in the absence of oxygen to form lactic acid and some extra energy is released. So we can conclude here that in aerobic respiration, breakdown of glucose occurs in the presence of oxygen with the release of carbon dioxide, water and energy. In anaerobic respiration, breakdown of glucose occurs in the absence of oxygen with the release of alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. And in muscles, breakdown of glucose occurs in the absence or partial supply of oxygen with the release of lactic acid and energy. Have you ever wondered why you get muscle cramp after heavy exercise? When the lactic acid produced during anaerobic respiration get accumulated in the muscles, it causes muscle cramp. So how do we get relief from cramps? The muscle cramps can be relieved by taking a hot water bath or a massage. This improves the circulation of the blood and oxygen supply to the muscle cells increases. The increased supply of oxygen results in complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water, thereby giving relief from the cramp. So the lactic acid which get accumulated in the muscles which causes pain get converted into carbon dioxide and water and we get relief from the pain. Breathing is an important part of respiration. It is the process in which air rich in oxygen is taken inside and air rich in carbon dioxide is given out with the help of respiratory organs. Thus breathing involves two steps which takes place alternately. First is inhalation and second is exhalation. Taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide from our body to the external environment is called exhalation. Now the question arises is, what is breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as breathing rate. An adult human being can inhale and exhale 15 to 18 times in a minute, and it is the average breathing rate of an adult human being. The breathing rate of a person is not always constant. It changes according to the oxygen requirement of the body. Breathing rate is somewhat faster in women than in men and in children. Breathing rate is slowest while sleeping, while maximum during heavy exercise like running, weightlifting, etc., because more energy is required. Increased breathing rate provides a greater amount of air entry into the lungs, hence blood can absorb oxygen at a faster rate. Faster breathing supplies more oxygen to the body cell for producing more energy required for heavy exercise. During heavy exercise, the breathing rate can increase to 25 times per minute. Because of this, food gets broken down at a faster rate and thus make us feel hungry. When we feel drowsy, sleepy or tired, we yawn because our breathing rate slows down and the body does not receive sufficient oxygen. To understand the mechanism of breathing, we must discuss here about human respiratory system first. The organ for respiration in human beings are as follows: nostril, nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, we can see bronchioles here, bronchioles, and alveoli. Normally, we take in air through our nostril. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostril into the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity and mouth meet at the pharynx. Trachea is a continuation of the airway below the larynx, that is voice box. At the bottom end of the trachea, it divides into left and right air tubes called bronchi. Within the lungs, the bronchi divides into even smaller tubes called bronchioles. We can see bronchioles here. So bronchi get divided into bronchioles, and bronchioles end in the tiny air sac called alveoli, where exchange of gases takes place. Lungs are present in the chest cavity. This cavity is surrounded by ribs on the sides. We can see ribs here. There are 12 pair of ribs in our body, and a large muscular sheet called diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. Next is mechanism of breathing. The mechanism of breathing involves the movement of diaphragm and rib cage. When we breathe air in or inhale, two processes occur together. That is, muscles between the ribs contract, causing the rib cage to move upward and outward, while the diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. This upward and downward movements of rib cage and diaphragm respectively increases the space in the chest cavity and make it larger. As the chest cavity becomes larger, it sucks air from outside to the lungs, and lungs get filled up with air and expand. When we breathe out or exhale, the reverse process takes place. That is, muscles of ribs release, causing the rib cage to move downwards or inwards, while the diaphragm releases and moves upward. This downward movement of the rib cage and upward movement of the diaphragm decreases the space of our chest cavity and makes it smaller. When the chest cavity becomes smaller, the air is pushed out of the lungs and we can say exhalation takes place. The air we inhale contains various types of unwanted particles like smoke, dust, pollen, etc. And these particles are called allergens. During inhalation, these particles get trapped in the hair present in our nasal cavity and they causes irritation in the lining of the nasal cavity, as a result of which we sneeze. Sneezing expels the foreign particles from the inhaled air so that dust-free clean air may enter into the lungs. We should take care while sneezing in that we must cover our nose so that foreign particle expelled during sneezing may not be inhaled by another person nearby us. Now the question arises in our mind is that what do we breathe out? The air is a mixture of gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. The difference between inhaled air and exhaled air is that inhaled air contains more oxygen while exhaled air contains more carbon dioxide. Beside oxygen and carbon dioxide, the air also contains more water vapor. Exhaled air contains more water vapor than inhaled air. The air which we inhale and exhale is a mixture of gases and water vapor. The percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled air can be shown as: inhaled air contains 21% of oxygen and 0.04 percentage of carbon dioxide, while exhaled air contains 16.4 percentage of oxygen and 4.4% of carbon dioxide. Lungs are very delicate organs and essential for breathing. Smoking tobacco in the form of bidi, cigarette or cigar damages our lungs gradually and causes ill health. While smoking, smoke along with chemicals present in tobacco enters our body. And these chemicals present in tobacco damages the lungs in many ways, like breathing become difficult, causing lung cancer and heart diseases. So it must be avoided. Different animals possess different organs for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Animals such as elephant, lion, cows, goats, frog, lizard, snake, birds have lungs in their chest cavities like humans for respiration. The smaller animals like cockroaches, earthworm, fishes, ants and mosquitoes do not have lungs. Therefore, respiration in these animals takes place by other means. Insects like cockroach have tiny pores on the side of their body, and these openings are called spiracles. The spiracles or the body of the insects are connected to the network of thin air tubes called trachea, which divide further into tracheoles. And these spread into the whole body of the insect where exchange of gases takes place. Air rich in oxygen rushes through the spiracle into the tracheal tubes, diffuses into the body and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells enter into the tracheal tubes and moves out through spiracle. The blood in these animals do not contain hemoglobin and is not red in color. They cannot carry oxygen to all the parts of the body. Therefore, transport of air takes place through the spiracles in these organisms. The tracheal system or spiracles are only seen in insects, not in other group of the animals. So what happens in earthworm? Earthworm and leeches absorb the atmospheric oxygen through their moist and slimy skin because gases can easily pass through the moist and slimy skin. They absorb the atmospheric oxygen through their skin and transport it through the blood to all the parts of the body. Frog possess a pair of lungs. When they are on land, they breathe through their nostril and a pair of lungs. But when they are in water, they breathe through their moist and slippery skin. There are many organisms which live in water always, like fish. They do also breathe underwater. Fishes are the aquatic animals and they always live in water. These have a special organ for breathing called gills. The oxygen dissolved in water enters through the gills, and gills are actually the projections of skin and have blood vessels for exchange of respiratory gases. The fishes breathe by taking in water through their mouth and sending it over the gills. The oxygen dissolved in water is extracted by the gills and the extracted oxygen is absorbed by the blood. This oxygen is then carried to all the parts of the body for respiration. The carbon dioxide produced during respiration is brought back by the blood into the gills and expelled into the surrounding water. Do the same process occur in whale and dolphin also? Sea animals like dolphin and whale live in water, but unlike fishes, they do not possess gills for respiration. These possess nostrils which are called blowholes. Their blowholes are located on the upper part of the head, and these animals breathe in through their nostril and lungs. Dolphins and whale come to the surface of the sea water from time to time to breathe in air. Sometimes whale release a function of water that moves upwards like a spray. This is because when a whale breathes air out of its blowhole, it appears as a spray or mist, also called a spot. It can be seen from many miles away. Blowholes are surrounded by muscles that keep the holes closed when the whale or dolphin are underwater and open it when the animal is at the surface and needs to breathe. The human cannot survive underwater because they do not possess any gill to make use of oxygen dissolved in water for breathing. When we go underwater, we have to take oxygen gas cylinders for breathing. Now the question which arises in our mind is, what about plants? Do plants also respire? Yes. All the organisms in the world respire, whether it is an animal or a plant. Plant also take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. They also break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water and releases energy to perform other functions. The respiration in plant differs from the animal because in plants respiration occur through leaves and root. They carry out respiration independently. That is, each plant part can independently take in oxygen from the air, utilize it to obtain energy, and give out carbon dioxide. The leaves of the plant have tiny pores on the surface which are called stomata. The exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide in the leaves, takes place through stomata during respiration. The oxygen from the air enters into the leaf through stomata and reaches inside all the cells of the leaves through diffusion, while carbon dioxide, which is produced during respiration, also diffuses from the leaf to the atmosphere through the stomata. What happens in case of root? Root cells of the plant respire under the ground. They also need oxygen to carry out respiration and releases energy for their own use. Root cell get oxygen from the air present in the spaces between the soil particles. Plant root have a large number of tiny hair on them which are called root hair. Oxygen from the air present in soil particle diffuses into the root hair and reaches to the cell of the root where it is utilized for respiration. The exchange of gases takes place in the plant all the time, but it is increased during daytime. The leaves are more actively involved in photosynthesis during the daytime in the presence of sunlight. The carbon dioxide released during respiration is utilized by the plant during photosynthesis to produce its food. During photosynthesis, oxygen is released by plants, which are taken up during respiration in plants. Therefore, a balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen is maintained by the plant. Respiration thus provides a continuous energy to plant to perform all its function regardless of the time. So this is all about the respiration in organism. Thank you very much.